I believe every human being was born to be great. I believe no human being wants to be mediocre.
All I can say about Jay is I've known him for 35 years, and for 4.5 decades, he has been the go-to guy to optimize your business.
Jay is one of the top people on the planet who knows how to maximize a business and its reach to his customer.
You're watching Strategic Edge with Jay Abraham, exclusively on ASPN.
Jay Abraham with the Strategic Edge. Thank you so much for joining us once again here at ASPN. I know that our viewers get so much out of these segments, so thank you for joining us once again on the show.
My pleasure.
Thanks. So Jay, a lot of small business owners try to fix skills gaps by writing a thick manual or running a training day, and it doesn't seem to stick. What's actually going wrong there?
Well, there's a number of things. First is there are two kinds of training. There's event training and there is process training. Event training is exactly what you're talking about. Okay, guys, we're going to do a day. We're going to basically cram all this really important knowledge. You're going to take notes. Then we're going to probably never do it again. Process training is the way the military trains, the way a pilot is trained, the way a doctor is trained. It's highly progressive, repetitive, and evolving, and it's iterative. And that's the way you do it, and you do it continually, not once, but forever. And that's also why there's continuing education. Most people think that you can do something once, and that's going to indelibly embed itself. The research, Jim, is scary. Mm-hmm. The average person retains 9% of what they experience in a linear type learning training environment.
9%.
The more unique it is, it's going to be less because their mind is tripping out and they're not even hearing half. Yeah. The only way you get them from 9 to 25 to 30 is you rinse and repeat. And the analogy somebody taught me, it was very interesting. They used the hand. They said, okay, they come in and they're here. That's ground level. They're experiencing it and they're here. They go home and they're here. And the only way that you'll get them back up higher and there and then up much higher and there is to repeat it progressively. Now, they won't like it. You may not like it because it seems like you've already been there, done there.
Sure.
But think about, let's go back to beginning childhood. A baby learning to walk or talk or go to the toilet or eat or a little older ride a bike. Do you stand them up, show them and let go and then never come back to them? I mean,
no, it's repetitive.
Anybody who has ever done sports, do you pick up a racket and basically immediately you're pickleball or tennis or a racket or any kind? Do you go into the gym and the first day start pressing 400 pounds 30 times?
I wish.
Everything is iterative, progressive, and processional, except the mindset that entrepreneurs have about training. So that's first thing. Second is don't just train theoretically. Throughout the training, you have to stop and make the audience or the individual share back what he or she just learned. Yeah. Because no two people ever hear the same thing. They don't have the same experiences. They don't have the same mental picture imagery of concept. They've not experienced that concept, words, phrases the same way. It is very easy to be way, way, way off trajectory. There's that story, I don't tell it well, but the general's in the field and he desperately needs reinforcement, and he tells his colonel, who tells lieutenant, who tells the sergeant. By the time it gets back to headquarters, they're asking for, soap. It just gets all aberrated. Yeah. So the next thing is, when you're training, you've got to realize a couple of things. You need to understand clearly the outcomes you want that training to produce. Mm-hmm. Most of us, and I'm not accusing or including you, we are abdicators. We are excited when somebody's going to come and train our people.
Sure.
We pay the money. We give people the time off. We reserve the room at the hotel or at our place. We let them get experience. but we're pretty much it's a static one and done. We don't really try to think through, first of all, what we want that training to really achieve. We don't really think about how we're going to monitor, measure, and assure that the people we want to be trained will really master that, or at least gain proficiency. We don't have repetitive checks and verifications going on all the time. We just want to wash our hands and let the sales trainer teach them how to sell.
That's right.
Or, or the CRM person teach them how to use it or whatever, and it's not our problem. And that you can't abdicate continual responsibility.
That's right. That's right. And as one friend of mine said, it'd be like going to an NFL game and you watch, the quarterback for the 3 hours that you're there, and you suddenly feel like, well, I could be a quarterback in an NFL league or within the NFL. It's the same thing with many training situations. Like you just said, if you hire a sales trainer for one day and those people are in that classroom and there's no follow-up, there's no repetitive training going on there, just because you attended that class isn't going to make you a superstar salesperson, right?
And then normally, unless somebody's really a gifted student, they're going to hit a ceiling of progression or of proficiency.
Sure.
And you have to know that and help them break through. And breaking through can be revisiting probably the concept. It could be maybe getting advanced training.
Mm-hmm.
And you also, when you're training anybody, the smartest thing for a small, medium entrepreneur to do is to have redundancy training. By that, I mean, not just have a singular person trained in something, because if he or she leaves, gets ill, anything happens, even if you promote them, then you've got to retrain again and again, or you got a gap, and the whole mechanism that area that's been trained in is dependent on stops. And really smart people, they do two things. They redundant train, and they make everything documented in as many different application scenarios so that they're never caught off guard and they're never compromised.
Yeah. And how many times have we seen business owners that let somebody go from their organization when you say, what happened to that individual? Well, they didn't do their job very well. Oh, well, how much training did you give them? Well, that's why I hired them. They were experienced. I thought they knew how to do their job. When you realize that maybe either very, very little or no training at all took place with that individual. And here you are now letting them go from your organization because they didn't know how to do the job that well. And yet you didn't offer any training to them.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Well, there's another interesting, at least to me it's interesting, sort of a subtext here. Many entrepreneurs hire people who have achieved very significantly higher outcome results, successes than they are at right now, thinking that is really astute, but they do not, first of all, verify that person was able to start at the level they were at.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, so I'll give you an example, and it's an embarrassing example. So I basically was a superstar, and my story about ICI is absolutely true. I did exceptionally great for them. We set up 1,000 different media sources that all generated thousands of wow. direct sales every day for us, and it went from nothing to tens of millions and was sold for wow. extraordinary price, and everything was a great success story. And I owned that part of it, and I thought I was really hot, you know what? And then I went to another company that is now not so unsuccessful, Asper Cream, but they had no infrastructure. They had no system to support it. And I did not do well there, even though I did massively well when there was a system to support me. And the point I'm making is a lot of entrepreneurs think they can hire somebody who is very successful, and they judge that success singularly on the results that person either purports or really achieved, but they do not factor in what the environment, what the structure they had helping them. And if a small entrepreneur can't spend qualitative time or doesn't have any of the tools or the systems, then they can make a terrible mistake.
That's right. We see that all the time. All the time. All they know is that that person was a superstar salesperson at that other organization, but you just don't know the inner workings of the organization, or what the real setup was. Just because you hire them doesn't mean they're going to succeed with you, right?
Absolutely. I've seen so many people that say, well, the guy that I hired to run this ran $100 million company, and this company's 7 million. I'll say, yeah, but did he ever grow it from 7 to 100, or come in when it was at 80 or 90 and growing at 15% organically? And people don't realize that training the wrong person and not having the support it's a Pyrrhic victory, because it's very flawed.
That's right. That's right. And training is so vitally important for the team. In fact, most teams will tell you that they want it. I mean, teams want the training, as much as they may say, well, it's boring, or I don't want to sit in a classroom, or what have you. But at the end of the day, in order for them to produce and in order for them to do their jobs better, they want and need that guidance and that training that the company is going to offer or should be offering, right?
Well, yeah, I absolutely agree. Couldn't agree more. There's 3 implications to what you said. One is the most underutilized asset and opportunity any company, and particularly a small, medium business that has limited resources, could ever really leverage is human capital, the capacity of people to perform greater with knowledge. Secondly, your goal should be to grow and develop that capability always. Third, and this is really interesting, and I temporarily lost the thought, so I want to grab it back. It's really important about this, and that is that you want to train them for the future, not for the moment.
Right. Good point.
So
Very good point.
You have to have a vision of where you're going. So you have to make sure the training is evolvable. In other words, either evolvable in their capacity to grow past it, or their knowledge to take it past where you are now, because what you need to service a $2 million company is very different than what you're going to need for a 10.
That's right. That's right.
And if their capacity is only to service the 2 because you don't keep evolving them, or you impute more ability in them than they have, because a lot of people just can't. It's not a criticism, but they're great. If you go into a dental office, they have a lot of very nice, hardworking, usually they're women. They aren't always, but they're really good for that little office. It's doing about $1 million.
Sure.
But if you put them into a sophisticated, some of these dental offices are, they're $10 million, $20 million.
Oh yeah.
Mini empires.
Yeah.
They would, and so you just have to make sure that you're investing the right knowledge in the right person, and that once they get it. And by the way, here's another thing that's very important. I said you need to get throughout the training them to verify for you that they really heard what was said. That's important, but it doesn't in any way prove that they know how to execute what they heard.
Yeah, very good
So
point.
all these checklists, you've got to constantly monitor. And if you go, I don't want to do that, then I would say then the training is going to be at best suboptimal, and at worst it's going to be futile and wasteful.
That's right. That's right. No question. And if you don't know how to train somebody, or you've never gone to a train the trainer class, then sometimes there's a big disconnect there. If you don't know how to work with people and you don't know how to teach people, there's a number of courses online that you can take. There's even YouTube videos on the topic. So become a student of the training and on how to train others, because not everybody gets that. And it's so vitally important. If you're not going to be bringing a trainer in that's well schooled in this area, and you are the trainer, then spend some time on becoming a good trainer, because it's not pointing at something, screaming at that associate and saying, okay, I just train them. No,
and you're right.
That's not it.
You don't have to leave home to do it. You're right.
That's right.
There's great videos. There's great inexpensive courses, books. But there's one more thing, and I forgot, and I think this is very important. It's understand the meaning. So if I say to you, are your people trained in selling? almost everybody will answer yes, but they are answering yes to a different question they're hearing. What they're hearing is, are they trained in product and spec?
Yeah.
So they can tell you, yes, this larger water is much better than this one for your need. But they can't motivate you to want this water because of it's going to quench your thirst
That's
3
right.
times faster. They're not trained to
right.
listen to whether you
They
even
got the
want.
product knowledge down good, but they don't have the selling skills down.
They've only trained them in that. They've never brought anything in. There's soft skills. So I'm all about leverage on leverage on leverage, and I break everything down to levers that are available and very frequently never turned on. So if you're a salesperson, as an example, if you are trained not just in consultative selling, you need to be trained in listening.
Yeah.
You need to be trained in strategic communication, how to communicate with empathy,
Sure.
with authority, with not arrogance. You need to be trained in trust building, and those are very inexpensive. But each of those layers multiplies the effectiveness in this segregated example, a salesperson by orders of magnitude. The same is true if you're trained in one thing, but you're not trained in collaborating with everybody else in the business, then there's a breakdown. And I don't think, and so one more thing I want to say, I don't care if you have one employee or you have 1,001. If it's your business, you are the leader, and you might want to go and look up Webster's dictionary definition and every synonym of what a leader and being one really represents. I think a lot
great
of
advice.
small entrepreneurs they don't want to lead.
I know.
And I think if you don't want to lead, you should probably get a job.
Yeah, very, very good advice. It's so true. We're leaders in our business, but yet we've never looked at the definition. And I think I might have fallen into that a few times. So, Jay Abraham, this is always great with the Strategic Edge right here at ASBN.com. Thank you once again for joining us on the show. Very much appreciated. As I said in the opening, our viewers get so much out of these segments. So thanks again.
You're very welcome, and thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Strategic Edge with Jay Abraham, exclusively on ASBN.